Hey guys, it's your girl London and I'm back with another transformation tutorial. So if you want to see how my client goes from that to this, please keep watching. Okay guys, so here's my client, and right now we're starting off with clean dried hair. And what I'm doing is just sectioning off a little section on the left, which is going to be her leave out. Okay, and here I'm getting ready to section off her lower half. And I will be relaxing that and then cutting it. So I'm clipping the additional hair off to get it out of my way. And then I'm going to run a little bit of base through her scalp. I want to make certain that even though that hair is going to be shaved or cut real close, that I protect her scalp in the process of her relaxer. So I'm making certain that I put it around her neck and on the sides and then in between. This is just a lot easier than cutting the hair first and then trying to section to base the scalp. So now I'm going to cut off all the excess hair that we don't need. There's no need to relax any hair that's going to be removed at a later time. So I'm just going to do that in advance. It kind of helps along the process and gets the relaxer on and off a lot quicker. The base that I'm using or have used is also by Influance. I use their entire product line. It comes in a jar and then also a squeezable tube. I preferably like to use the squeezable tube. It just makes the process flow a lot quicker. So now I'm going in with my brush. This is always easy when it comes to applying a relaxer. I know some people still use combs. If that's what you use, more power to you. The brush just works really well for me, so I prefer to use the brush. And I can remember the first salon that I worked in, and the owner required that we use a brush with our relaxers instead of a comb. And oh my gosh, for weeks my hands cramped until I finally got it, and now I wouldn't use it any other way. So I'm also basing the front of her hairline and that leave out as well. And I always try to do this area last. Most times people around the hairline tend to irritate there the fastest. So I waited until I got the relaxer on the back for a few minutes before I went in with this section. I also try not to over process this area or relax it too straight, because my clients tend to go in and reinforce it with their flat irons, and that usually causes breakage if their hair is bone straight. So I leave a little bit of elasticity in the hair, and it just leaves room for error. So I've already shampooed and neutralized her. I've removed the relaxer, and I am now going to mold her in preparation for the dryer. And this is just so that back can lay down really smooth before I shave it, and also on the sides. I'm not concerned with smoothing the top area because that I'll be braiding down later. So I'm just going to comb it out and then place her under the dryer. Okay, so now that she's dry, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up this cut just a little bit. Feel free to use a guard. I just like to use my comb and clipper, very old school. I haven't really changed that method much. I do use my guard from time to time, but a lot of times I'll also just go in and just use my comb over my clippers. So now I'm going to take my edger and just line it up so it'll have an overall clean and neat look. And I stay true to the natural hairline. This just makes it look a lot better when it's time for it to grow out. So now I'm going to pin off this little section to the top, which was the leave out. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a French braid. You've seen my previous video. That is my go-to thing. So I'm going to do a French braid from her right side around to the left, and then secure it with that latex based product that I use. It's not Morning Glory, but it's by 30 Seconds. So it's like a weaving, I forgot the name of it, but again, I'll put that in the description bar below as well. Oh, as I said previously, feel free to do this particular process any way that you choose. It doesn't have to be a French braid. It can be a cornrow. It can be several braids. This method is just easier for me when it's time to take the hair down. Once I rinse the solution out and remove the tracks, I just have the 1 or 2 braids to remove, and then I'm done. But if you are used to doing the wrap or something of that sort, you can still stick with that method. This just works really great too if the hair is natural. So while applying the solution, you want to make certain that you cover the hairline really well, whether there's hair there or not. This just anchors the tracks, gives it something to adhere to, but it also protects the hairline than if you were just to apply the glue as is. So make certain that that area is thoroughly covered. Okay, so you didn't see, but I set her under the dryer for about 10 to 12 minutes. So you do not apply the track while the latex base is wet. You sit them under the dryer for a couple of minutes until it's tacky or firm, and then you can go ahead and start applying your tracks. So weave placement is everything. Because the picture that she showed me had a very heavy and full bangs to the front of her face, it's the reason I'm placing the tracks where I am. If I get a client and they don't like as much bang, then I actually would place the tracks a little bit more catty-cornered away from the face so that it still has a natural fall, but it's not directly like in their eyes. So now I'm just filling in, and depending on the style, depends on how I lay the tracks. Sometimes I'll start from one end and then cut off and start tracking from another end. So again, track placement is key. You don't want to just constantly go in a circle or just stay strictly to the back or to the front or to the side. You want to concentrate on where that hair needs to lay in order to achieve the desired look that you're aiming for. So there's a little technique that I do on the sides. It's kind of hard to see here, but depending on how I want it to fall, sometimes I angle it a little bit more forward towards the face as opposed to just straight down. And this is the pack of hair that she chose. Now this hair looks very bright, vibrant, but it's not as bright as it's coming off on camera. Well, it kind of is, but it's not quite as vivid. It's a little more burgundy than it is red. So right now I'm cutting her hair to frame her face. She kind of wanted it a little bit closer to the ear, not too long on this side. And I've already cut the left side, and I just kept it really, really close. She definitely wanted to do it asymmetric, but she didn't want it very deep. So once I've outlined the actual cut, then I go back in and add some layers with some notch cutting. And again, I notch cut. I just think that the layers lay better. They look a lot more natural. They're not so choppy and blunt. But you can use whatever cutting method you are accustomed to. So now the good part, I am going in and with my EAP flat iron, I am going to add some nice bouncy curls to this side. And enough so that when it falls, it still has some shape to it. And then usually when there's a leave out, depending on the length of the hair, sometimes I go ahead and curl the weave first, and then I curl the natural hair to blend in. And that just prevents you from having that line of demarcation where you can usually get a dent from the natural hair as opposed to just blending in naturally. And that's what I'm doing here. Did she just do the little pouty lip thing? I think she did. That's that lip when you like, girl, it's about to be right. So now I'm just styling it and combing it in place. And this is a very simple style, very easy to maintain, because of course the only hair that she has exposed is just her leave out. So everything on that left side that's cut really close and short is actually the track. So this is the final look, you guys. Very natural, very simple. And that back here is laid. And now I'm just gonna apply some lashes. She brought lashes in. I also have lashes at the salon, and you can definitely add it to your service. Just a little bit of an upgrade. And this just puts a little bit of sass on the entire process. I do makeup as well. I look forward to uploading some of those videos soon. And if you like, in the comment section, if there's any particular looks that you can think of that you might be interested in seeing, let me know. I'll be sure to try to get a few videos in where I've done both hair and makeup. She chose a very natural lash, which I like. You don't have to feel like you have to have a face of makeup in order to wear it. And this is the finished look, you guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed. And I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Bye, love.